If you run a home service business, I'll go over the distribution of where your leads should come from, how you can get those leads from those sources, and what to say, and why you should focus your effort more on certain lead sources over others in the rest of this video. No matter what other people say, lead flows is the lifeblood of the business. If you have no leads, you have no one to talk to and no one to sell to. Cash flow dries up and your business ceases to exist. Over the course of this video, some basics I'm going to cover is that there are warm leads and there are cold leads. Really briefly, I'm going to cover them so you understand it better as I talk about lead sources throughout the video. Cold leads are people who don't know you, don't like you, or don't even trust you yet. And while warm leads are people who know you somewhat. They like you maybe, and they trust you, most important. I mention this because I'm going to refer to them periodically throughout the video. If you don't know what these are, please read a marketing book or two, because these are crucial and vital that you know what they are in your business and when you do any marketing. So you are able to tailor your messaging, what you say, how you approach those leads, and what the steps you need to take to convert them into a potential customer. Now, cold leads are the hardest to sell to because you are going to convert less of them to sales naturally because they don't know, like, or trust you. As such, you have to take steps in order to develop that initial relationship, and it will take more time, and the percentage of close rate is going to be lower, resulting in higher cost per sale. While warm leads are the best kind of customers you can get for your business because they know, like, and trust you already, and they're easier to sell to, resulting in a lower cost per sale, which increases your margins to a higher level and makes you a more profitable business at the end of the day. Now, as you can see in this image pyramid over here, the first thing you want to maximize are your referrals and repeat customers, because as previously mentioned, they are the cheapest kind of leads that you can get for your business because they are warm leads. And starting out, you may not have as many of them, and that is okay. Everyone starts out like this, but remember to do a good job and ask the few customers that you have for referrals and repeat business so that you can keep your lead pipeline full and have always somebody to reach out to in case things get slow or you need to find your next lead to talk to. However, in the future, you should get the majority of your jobs from repeat and referrals, provided you do a good job and ask your existing clients for more work consistently. And this is the reason why I have the pyramid as such, like this over here. The majority of your leads to come from the bottom part of the pyramid, which is referrals and repeat business. You should getting the majority of your leads from there because they are the cheapest cost to acquire per lead, because you have to do less work selling them. You have to do less work convincing them that they are somebody you can trust, because you get that trust from the person that referred to them. This thing is set up like a food pyramid distribution, such that the things at the bottom are where you want to get the majority of your leads from, just like how you would eat the majority of your diet from the bottom of the pyramid. You want to do the same thing for your lead sources as well. And this should be an ideal distribution of home service business leads that should come to you. Whether you do a home service business, I don't care if you run a gym or anything that has the customers, you want to maximize the referrals and repeat business by just asking for more business. Contrary to popular belief, majority of people won't tell other people about your stuff, even if they had a good experience with it. So you have to remember to ask nicely that you want more referrals and business. That's the easiest way to make your business grow, having referrals. The reason is that customers that are referred to you are the easiest to sell to, and the person who referred them is doing some of the selling for you by imparting that trust. These are warm to hot leads because they somewhat know, like, and trust you already because of that referral, or because they had proof that a good job was done. So there's less selling needed. There's a reason why there's some old local businesses around that don't need to market their stuff, because the stuff is just so good that people talk about it, and or they're asking for referrals to their business. Another reason to focus on referrals is that the closing rate is much higher and the cost per lead pretty much pennies, because you're just paying for communication costs at that point, resulting in higher margins for your business from each sale. That means you don't have to spend as much time selling, which means it'll be cheaper on a cost per sale basis, which will equal to higher margins per job. Some of you wondering, like, geez, that sounds fine and dandy. How do I do it? It's really straightforward and simple. You literally have to just ask. Literally. That's it. Whether you ask in person, over text, over email, whatever your communication method is. In person is always best because you can ask more questions on the spot and make it more conversational and natural. Now, if you don't ask for referrals, you're not going to get most of it, because as a matter of fact, people forget, people don't think about it. It's not the thing that's top of their mind to think about. Now, when I say in-person is ideal, another thing to think about also is at the point of maximum satisfaction. It's the time to ask for a referral, or side note, a review request. You can start the conversation by just asking how you did on the job. Ask for feedback. How was your work? Can you do any better? And a side note, if you did a good job, it's time to ask a review then and there. Ask them to leave a review on your Google page, Facebook page, or etc. Anywhere to have some social proof so that you can build your online reputation, which I'll cover more later on in the video. And if unfortunately you did a shit job, now it's the time to find out how you can fix it and make the service experience better. That way, they do not become a bitter customer and leave a bad online review. You want to figure out how to take feedback, which you should, to improve. Nobody's perfect. Learn to improve, take feedback seriously, and work on your process until delivering a better experience for the next customer. Side note, you want to know what your customers want or what to do better, just ask them and be humble enough to take the feedback seriously. Because as much as you want to think you know best, customers want what they want and they are the easiest source for feedback. And when you do it on the spot and ask them for feedback or referral, you're able to ask them really quickly, ask them, hey, do you know anybody else who could use the same kind of work or service I provided or something else we offer on our service menu? And then you can share an incentive or reason for your ask if you have any. Side note, just make up a reason. Like, we want to service more customers or we want to be the number one business for XYZ service. Whatever, make something up. People are more likely to help you out if you have some sort of reason. It's a study, you can look it up, that if you make up a reason, no matter how ridiculous the reason is, it's better than no reason. There's a study about somebody cutting in line and they said that they made up a reason and their likelihood to cut in line is much higher. It just improves your odds. If they don't know a referral or anybody to send your way, it's cool. Share your contact information. Give them a business card, a flyer, a brochure, or something physical that they can keep and they can share to anybody they think of in the future. Leave and end the conversation cordially and remember to ask for that review and get it done on the spot. Even if only 1 out of 10 of them refers someone to you, it's cool because you already know where your next lead is coming from and you don't have to go out chasing, knocking on doors, banging on the phones or something like that, getting a lead. And a real tactical way to get that referral is to ask for a 3-way introduction on the spot. You could create a small group text with you, the current customer, and the referral lead that they say they want to send your way and just say, hey, XYZ or John referred me to you. They said you might be interested in blah, blah, blah. And then you can initiate a conversation. When they reply, you can bring that conversation out into a one-to-one conversation instead of including the person that referred to you. Things like that. That's how you can tactically get that real quick connection and get that know, like, and trust and transferred to you. Now, and if you feel icky about asking for referrals, get over it. Practice in front of the mirror and learn to ask and sell in a non-salesy way by asking genuine questions to help the prospect make a decision and figure out what is best for them and their situation. If you're just heavily pushing your stuff, even if you know your stuff is not good or is bad or whatever, and you're pressuring them to make a purchase decision with you today, then you deserve to feel icky. I don't want to say. Like, your job as a salesperson is to help the prospect make a decision that is right for them, not push a sale. You want them to make a decision to decide today whether to go with your stuff or not. As simple as that. And you are the salesperson and know your stuff heavily and specifically, so you're able to have a very informed conversation with the lead. Remember, prospects buy for their reason, not yours. You cannot make them buy something they don't already want or need. Now, with that spiel out of the way, if you really want to maximize your referrals and repeat customers, some tactical things that you can do is to give your potential customers or referral incentive to refer someone to you. Something like maybe a 5% discount for repeat jobs if they are already a customer, or for referrals, give the person who referred a discount for future jobs, coupons, a cash bounty for referring them if they buy from you, whatever you're comfortable with or whatever you can think of. Remember, a human son always thinking like, what's in it for me? Like, yes, there's some good people out there that just want to help each other, but those are the exception, not the rule. It's better to create systems in place to maximize your return on investment. Make sure the jobs that you sell as well in the future actually have the margin to support such monetary offerings. But you're going to pay for it either way, either by buying leads, paying ads. Right now, you're just giving the cost that you would use to generate a lead to your referral instead. Now, if you really want to systematize and maximize referrals and repeat business, what you can do is add your customers' contact information or people that you don't sell into a lead list into a CRM, or create a customer list in Excel, some Google Sheets. You can keep track of jobs that you sell, jobs that you don't sell, and remarket to those leads or customers again in a few months' time, or just every month. Just refresh their memory that you exist and you're asking for referrals and just reminding them that you have jobs on offer or any promotions or any offers and things like that you have currently pushing, and keep reminding that you have incentives for their help. This is called database reactivation or automated referrals in the marketing world, so to speak. The gist of it is just asking for referrals and more jobs, essentially. And it's super simple to set up these days. You can just go find out on Google and search up CRMs or whatnot to get it set up and everything really easily if you want to do it yourself. But I understand that not everybody has the time and can figure out these things, such that companies like mine exist to provide such services for companies. And with the use of AI and automation softwares like mine, it just makes it really easy to do database reactivation at scale and ask for referrals at scale routinely without incurring labor costs to manually type messages and hit send. All you have to do is just pay electricity and a few pennies for the cost of sending a few texts. But you can always do it the old school way if you're not at that point where using software to help leverage and buy back some of your time. And if you stay small scale and you don't need software to do it and run it for you because you don't have such a lead list, you can always do it manually and set reminders to do it when things are slow. Or if you're not at the stage where paying few $100 for software makes sense, automate things like that yet. All right, now that you have the cheapest leads to acquire on the pyramid covered, second thing on the pyramid is offline presence. This is how you reach out to a wide local market where you are not paying a recurring cost such as advertising cost that has a monthly or daily spend on Facebook, or Google cost per click, or paying Angie per lead. Like this one is a lot cheaper, but it's very hard to measure the return on investment. It's generally a good practice to have a strong presence before you start focusing on online presence and stuff like that, because these are relatively cheap and easy to set up because you could have one-time cost when you're buying things like company t-shirts, wrapping your truck with your numbers, your logos, your company name, etc. Having yard signs for homes that you do jobs at, networking events where you can hand out flyers, mailers, business cards, etc. And these are pretty much self-explanatory. You just want more people to see you and reach out to your business for your services. And I can't stress it enough. On all your material, have a way for people to easily contact you on all your material and include a link to a website if you have one. Even if you don't, claim your business on Google Business Page or something and have a link to that. That way people can look you up for social proof, pictures of your jobs, your past services, your menu of services, those kind of things where they can just find more information that they want. So having that online presence is critical in this day and age because I don't know what the percentage, but a vast majority of people are looking up things online before they buy, even for local markets. Putting aside the cost, the one-time cost for acquiring these things, is that it just makes your business seem more legitimized with all that offline material and branded stuff. It builds your brand and professionalism. So it's a best practice to have it. FYI, if you really want to measure the effectiveness of all these things, you can always buy specific phone numbers and attach it to certain offline material. For example, you have a specific number just for your business cards and a specific phone number, for example, your truck wrap. So you can calculate your return on investment on those kind of things. But that is if you're going crazy and you're growing big and you really want to measure all your return investment on this thing. But at the end of the day, the big businesses do it. I suggest you do the same. These are really low cost one-time investments that you can pay for once and get it returned over and over and over again. Because let's say you park outside the customer house and you have your truck there with your sign and name and everything. The neighbors see it, people walking by see it, they'll be like, oh, and they can take a note of it, take a picture, write their number down, etc. Those kind of things. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Even something really smart that I heard of, if you are in the home service industry, so you can always go to the neighbors, knock on their door, just say, hey, I'm working in this house, there might be some noise, blah, blah, blah. I'm here. If any issue, give me a call, blah, blah, blah. You make that connection and you have that presence in that local neighborhood. People know you, people see you around, and then over time you build that relationships and that presence in the neighborhood, and people associate your company with good feelings, things like that. If you don't make that connection, and even if you ask them like, hey, do you have jobs or anything like that, you can always ask. You don't have to be pushy about it. You can be cordial about it. If nobody's home, just leave a placket and just write there the same thing that you said earlier, like if it's noisy or if you have any issue, give this number a call, and then we can talk about it and figure out a situation that might work for the both of us. It just builds that professionalism in your company, things like that. So it's pretty straightforward, just hand them out, company t-shirts. If your employees wearing t-shirts, things like that, wrap the trucks, vans, etc. Having yard signs out there so people know, like it's a strategy from realtors and things like that. So if you put them all together in your company, you have a highly optimized offline presence such that you get noticed whenever your vehicles pass through the neighborhood and things like that. So yeah, that's it for offline presence. It's pretty straightforward. The third thing on the pyramid is your online presence. Things like your website, how your landing pages look like, what color your things are, what your SEO is, how well you rank, how much reviews you have, things like that all affect your ranking. And like if somebody search your service online, how high you rank it up. The higher obviously the better, because you essentially are getting free traffic and free leads to your business. And people who are searching on search engines like Google are usually very high intent leads because they're searching for a solution to their problem. As such, they're more likely to buy. And then that comes down to your lead response time, how fast you're responding to the calls, etc. The faster the better. That's no two ways about it. The faster you can respond, the better it is. As some study from Harvard says that if you respond within 5 minutes, there's like very little detriment to closing the sale, but if like greater than 5 minutes, the likelihood that you're going to close the lead, it drops drastically. The longer and longer you wait to respond to a lead. And then things like content on your website, like blog posts, how-to guides, etc. Those kind of things can help boost your SEO rankings, things like that. And obviously testimonials help. Put them all over your websites, your Google business profile, Facebook profile, etc. Just plaster testimonials, get as many as you can, record all of them. And for testimonials, remember to include proof. Pictures, before and after, videos, not just talking head videos, like videos and proof of your work that you've done with your experience. Remember to gather them at maybe the point of highest satisfaction. For example, you can always gather them when the customer is most satisfied. That way, it builds credibility for your business. And then it also is because they are at their highest satisfaction at that point. So the testimonials will turn out great. Put them on your website, gather them up, and post them online. Like these days, you don't have to really hire a special web design firm. You can always get online tools these days and build them out yourself. And just remember to update them, make it look modern. You can always hire somebody to do it on Fiverr website or Canva, or you can always find a setup company to do it for you. But it's important to have it built once and build it right, such that you have your best foot forward. As with all your online presence stuff, make it as easy as somebody to contact you, whether it's an online form, a textable number, a number they can call right away, an inbox that they can leave requests on, things like that. Make it as easy as possible for someone to get in touch with you. And I understand that sometimes you get spams, but it's the nature of the business, it's the nature of game. If you want to have an online presence, you open up yourself to things like that. Best advice I can give you is have a separate number so that you can disconnect if you have to and not pick up the phone, so to speak, and just leave it to ring, etc. Ideally, you have to pick up the phone and deal with spam calls and whatnot, because speed to lead matters a lot in closing the deal. Or sneaking in, you can do like have AI pick up the phone, blah, 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 but those are special tactics that you can contact me or my company for more information, but I won't spiel too much about it. Now, the fourth thing on the lead pyramid is your paid advertising, such as Google paid per click, Facebook ads, radio, billboards, outreach, podcasts, etc. You name it. I put it up here only after you online presence, offline presence, and building referrals and things like that, because this has hard tangible cost to them. A cost per lead may cost upwards of $30 to $40 a lead if you're in the home service business for contracting, for example. And this cost per lead, not cost per sale. Cost per sale could be upwards of $200, $300, $500 per sale. It depends on how good your sales process, your lead capture, how fast you respond to the leads, etc., etc. Those kind of things can affect your cost per sale. I only tell you to go into paid advertising only after you have maximized your referrals, repeat business, your offline presence, your online presence, and then you go out to paid advertising. Because once you have everything else in place, when you do paid advertising, because you have all that proof and all that presence, that once somebody interact with your ad, they're able to see all of that, it just convinces them that you are someone that runs a legitimate business and that you actually will do a good job for them, such that the sale will be easier and things like that. But never assume people consume your stuff. Always assume there's someone new and have that conversation as if they're always a new customer and start from there. If you're trying to grow and scale and things like that, is when you start doing paid advertising. It's not the first option. It's not the cheapest option either. That's why you don't want to go straight into paid advertising without having all the other things at the bottom of the pyramid in place. Because paid advertising is not cheap. They're thinking of spending $20, $30 a day and like $500, $600 a month, every month. And you have to pay attention to them because lead costs can go out of control if you don't refresh your creatives, your images, your text, your landing pages, your offers, etc., those kind of things. And it can drive up because you have to stay on top of it, keep refreshing it month after month. Something like every month you have to refresh your creatives, otherwise it grows stale, the platforms don't like it, things like that. Google pay per click, no, it's just like one time you optimize that kind of thing. I'm talking about Facebook ads, Yelp, or something like that, where you have creatives such as images, videos, things like that. You have to keep refreshing it month after month. But once you have 12 months of material stable up, you can just rinse and repeat it every year and just cycle through it, because people have forgotten about it by then and just change the offer like every month and such like that. Once you like 12 offers not made up, next you just run the same thing on repeat over and over again. That's when you have reached a nice point. I won't go too much into it because I'm not focused on the paid advertising. Like my business focus more on the bottom three, where we maximize your online presence, do your offline presence. So you do have to do offline presence. We don't do that. Referrals and repeat, those we have systems in place to maximize those kind of things. Last but not least, buying leads from NG, Thumbtack, Manas, etc. The reason I put this last is because you don't want to be beholden to the lead sources from them. Because from what I heard from NG, Thumbtack, Manas, etc., you often have like contracts and whatnot. If you sign a few $1,000 contract and you're locked in that thing for a long time, and it can make or break your business if the leads are crap and you're not able to leave the contract and you're in the hole of a few $1,000s. It's risky, but it's an easy way to do it. That's why a lot of people tend to go to NG, Thumbtack, Manas, etc. to buy some leads. You also want to understand that if you're buying leads, you want to make sure you're not running paid advertising in the same area that you're buying leads from. You have to make sure that you're setting up geofencing of certain radiuses, let's say 5 miles or 10 miles from your business location, and then past those miles, maybe you're buying leads, etc., that kind of thing. That way you're not double dipping on the same lead amount in the same area, because that would just drive your lead costs through the roof and will result in crazy costs, things like that. And like buying leads, etc. like that is not foolproof way to get business and sales. Like, I mean, I've heard stories of people like having like a bunch of leads that they call up on NGM and Thumbtacks and like who is this? I did not ask for a job, etc. Those kind of things. So that's just that lead quality is not quite there compared to running your own paid advertising, where you can have qualification flows that and questions that ask and qualify your lead in advance, such that you only get high quality leads and you're not wasting your time banging the phone on leads that are not qualified. The leads that you buy are a mixed bag, but it's the name of the game. They buy a lead list and they resell it to you at a certain markup, and you have to talk to them, follow them. Don't get emotional about it. Sometimes you get good leads, sometimes you don't, and you just want to have that conversation and be cordial about it. I heard something like 1 out of 6 leads on when you buy leads are actually interested buyers, and then I don't know out of how many leads you have to convert to them. Maybe 1 out of 4 maybe actually results in actual sales. So it can cost you, if like each lead costs you $30, buying 10 is $300, and maybe you close one of them. It's like essentially the cost per sale is like $300, things like that. So you can add up quick. You don't want to rely on buying leads. However, if you have everything at the bottom of the pyramid already maxed out, buying leads would be a good idea. Or maybe you're just starting out, things like that. It's fine. Make sure you do the rest as well. Hammer out on getting referrals. Make sure your online presence is on point. Then go into paid advertising, and lastly go into buying leads. And if you're already an established business and you really want to destroy your competition and make sure they have no leads, that's when you do all of them. You run paid advertising, you start buying leads. That way, the cost per lead for your competitors is so freaking high that they can't afford to stay in business. That's how you'll be ruthless in business and take over the competition and the whole market. So yeah, this is a nutshell of the lead cost pyramid. This is the ideal distribution for businesses if you want to be established and make sure that you remain the dominant player in your business and setting it up the right way. Because as you can see, the cost to acquire leads at the bottom of the pyramid is the lowest, while the cost to acquire leads is the highest at the top. Referrals and repeat customers are the cheapest because it costs you just pennies to get them. While offline presence have hard costs to them, they're not a recurring cost. So they can be just a one-off thing and you're not having to worry about making everything work right now. It will be less stressful. It just increases your professionalism and make your company appear better and have better branding. Next thing will be your online presence, your website SEO, reviews, content, testimonials, etc. Make sure to gather this from your current customers and repeat customers so that you can post it online and have that social proof that you're a legitimate business, etc. It never hurts to have more reviews than the competition. Keep gathering them as you serve more clients as you grow your business. It's a continual work in progress. Once you have all these 3 dialed, then it's time to go into paid advertising and start buying leads. When it comes to paid advertising, you can always opt to do it yourself, but it can be very difficult. Or you can go to the agency route, which is also a very expensive proposition. You're looking at paying $1,500 a month in addition to advertising costs, which can be $30 or $20 a day. And that can up to be $2,000 to $3,000 a month paying an agency like that. If you want to take back control of your online presence, your paid advertising, things like that, you can always speak to me and my company team. In the description below, we do a lot of AI and automation with lead communication and generating leads for your business using AI and automation to engage previous customers and previous leads. And especially if you have an online presence, our AI and automation can maximize the speed to lead communication, even if it's off hours and non-working hours, because AI works 24/7. If you're interested, links in the description below, take a look. If not, I hope you find this video valuable. I hope it helped you understand where to maximize and focus on your energy on building out your lead sources and what you should focus on in your business. I'll see you again. I hope this has been helpful.